For Complex News, I'm Natasha Martinez. If you thought that the T.I. and Tiny sexual abuse allegations were over, think again. New developments are causing the social media accusations that popped up in January to manifest themselves into a criminal investigation in 2 states, as well as a defamation lawsuit from the whistleblower Sabrina Peterson. Lawyer Tyrone A. Blackburn has officially approached law enforcement authorities in both California and Georgia on behalf of 11 people who say they have been victimized by T.I., his wife Tiny, and their associates. The eerily similar allegations between the 11 victims range from the couple drugging, sexually abusing, and kidnapping them. 4 out of those 11 also accuse the couple of rape on 2 instances in both California and Georgia. According to letters submitted by Mr. Blackburn, these instances have been happening for over the last decade, with the most recent sexual abuse incident happening in 2017 or 2018. Over the years, T.I. has worked to change his public persona after his 2009 federal prison sentence for felony gun charges and his 2010 drug arrest shortly after his release. Since then, T.I. has established himself as a family man and an elder in the hip-hop community. Already, he and Tiny are facing the consequences of these accusations. Here's everything you need to know. Allegations first came to light on January 25th. On January 25th, Atlanta-based entrepreneur and friend of the Harrises, Sabrina Peterson, took to social media to allege that T.I. had once put a gun to her head and threatened to kill her. This was after she got into an altercation with his former assistant, who was, in her words, treating her like a slave. Sabrina wrote on Instagram, "The sad part about being a woman and being a black woman is this. The public praises our predators. Troubleman31, you put a gun to my head in front of children and I never called the police on you. But for years you have painted me as the villain." Tiny quickly clapped back in Sabrina's comments to say that if she felt like T.I. was her abuser, why would she let her kids around him? Tiny called for Sabrina to stop harassing her family, and it was also noted that Sabrina has had a sexual history with the couple. The allegations range between trafficking, threats, and rape. After Sabrina posted about her experience, more than 30 women opened up about being sexually assaulted and trafficked by T.I. and Tiny. These women accused the couple of drugging and coercing them to have sex with them and with their close friends. One of the victims noted that she was forced by the couple to have sex with rapper Nelly against her will. Another victim detailed the story about meeting the couple 16 years ago at an NBA All-Star Weekend event. She and her friend met the two in a VIP section when they were both 16 and 15 years old. She said that they were pressured for sex and to take drugs even though it was known that they were underage. The New York Times interviewed at least 5 of the victims who are part of Mr. Blackburn's lawsuit. The Times reported that the women described Tiny and T.I. to be aggressors who deployed drugs, alcohol, money, and their celebrity status to prey on and entrap women for sexual abuse, and then threatened violence against anyone who might speak out. The Times also spoke with family members of the individuals who supported their claims and also reviewed photos or messages that supported their timeline of events. Another victim is an Air Force veteran who said she met the couple in 2005. She believes that her drink had been laced with a drug and she became incoherent and started vomiting. She said that she was raped by both T.I. and Tiny in a hotel room. Mr. Blackburn, who is seeking a criminal investigation on the couple, details that each victim has an eerily similar story about their experience with the Harrises. T.I. has publicly denied the claims. Shortly after Sabrina's initial Instagram post, T.I. made an 8-minute video addressing the allegations, noting that it had been extremely difficult for him to remain quiet.
Now, what we're not gonna do is open up the door to my bedroom, as you shouldn't have to either. Open up the door to my bedroom for everybody to come in, chime in, and make their opinions about what we do and don't do or should or shouldn't do. But I will say this, whatever we ever have done has been done with consensual adults who into what we into and like what we like. If we want something, we know exactly where to go to get it. We ain't never forced nobody. We ain't never drugged nobody against their will. We ain't never held nobody against their will. We ain't never made nobody do anything. We ain't never trafficked anything.
T.I. wrote that he vehemently denies the allegations. He also made it a point to say that women who have been victimized deserve to be heard, but that evil has no gender. T.I. noted that there were blog sites who were sending in fake stories to Sabrina. He posted a few screenshots to his Instagram to prove his point that some accounts were just looking for some clout. He ended the video stating that his family has had a history of harassment and violence from Sabrina. On January 28th, a spokesperson for the Harrises released a statement calling the allegations egregiously appalling. Mr. and Mrs. Harris want to be on record and, more importantly, want the public to know they emphatically deny in the strongest way possible the egregiously appalling allegations. The Harrises have had difficulty with this woman for well over a decade. They are taking this matter very seriously, and if these allegations don't end, they will take appropriate legal action. Their attorney, Steve Sato, also said, "These allegations are nothing more than a continuation of a sordid shakedown campaign that began on social media. The Harrises implore everyone not to be taken in by these obvious attempts to manipulate the press and misuse the justice system." There are two separate lawsuits surrounding T.I. and Tiny. One was put forth by Sabrina Peterson for defamation along with Shakina Jones, a hairstylist who has appeared on their reality television series. Peterson says that she has been a victim of defamation, invasion of privacy, and intentional infliction of emotional distress after sharing the stories of the alleged victims online. The other is by a New York-based attorney, Tyrone A. Blackburn. Mr. Blackburn sent letters to both states and federal prosecutors in California and Georgia. According to Mr. Blackburn, none of the 11 women he is representing in the letter knows each other. And according to the New York Times, most of the victims chose to remain anonymous. However, they are prepared to speak with investigators and prosecutors. Mr. Blackburn also clarifies that none of the 11 women included in his letter were among those that Sabrina Peterson posted on her social media. Blackburn implores officials to investigate T.I. and Tiny and to stop the, quote, stream of depravity being committed. Marvel and MTV have already cut ties with T.I. In light of the allegations since Sabrina posted her story, MTV postponed production on their VH1 show T.I. and Tiny, Friends and Family Hustle. They said that they would be taking the time to gather more information on the situation. An MTV spokesperson told Deadline, "We are aware of the allegations, and while they are not connected to our show, we have reached out to T.I. and Tamika Harris, as well as local and state officials." And on March 1st, Marvel announced that T.I. would not be returning for Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. According to The Hollywood Reporter, T.I. was never officially a part of the cast, so it is unclear whether his dismissal is related to the new allegations and lawsuits. T.I. has previously appeared in Ant-Man and the Wasp as Dave, a friend to Paul Rudd's Scott Lang, who helped him on his adventures. Both T.I. and Tiny are innocent until proven guilty. However, this story is still developing. For more on this and the rest of your news, subscribe to Complex News on YouTube and Instagram. For Complex, I'm Natasha Martinez.